When my sister announced her pregnancy, my parents rented out a banquet hall. There were balloon arches in soft gold, a catered dinner, custom cupcakes with her baby's name printed in edible ink. My father gave a speech about legacy. My mother cried and kept repeating, "Finally, someone is giving us a baby worth celebrating." They paid off my sister's car loan that week, bought the crib, the stroller, the designer diaper bag, then sent her and her husband on a five-star baby moon. I told myself I wasn't jealous. I told myself circumstances were different. She was the older one, the favorite, the one who needed more help. When my wife found out she was pregnant, we waited 3 months before telling anyone, not because we were afraid, because we wanted the moment to feel safe. We chose a Sunday dinner at my parents' house, the same dining room where my sister's framed ultrasound still sat on display. My wife was glowing, nervous but glowing. When we shared the news, there was a pause, not the kind where people are stunned with happiness, the kind where they are calculating inconvenience. "Oh," my mother said, setting her fork down. "Great, another kid." My father exhaled slowly. "You two planned this?" My wife's smile tightened. She nodded. My sister leaned back in her chair. "Well, I guess congrats." No one stood, no one clapped, no one reached for us. I waited for the warmth to catch up. It didn't. I heard myself speak before I fully decided to, saw nothing for our child. It wasn't accusatory, it was confused. The difference between two reactions was sitting right there in the room like a third presence. My mother's face hardened. "Stop making drama." My father gestured around the room. "This is our house. If you don't like how we react, you can leave." There it was, the old rule, gratitude over dignity. My sister gave a short laugh. Maybe he just knocked her up for the gifts. The table laughed with her, not cruelly, casually. My wife looked down at her hands. Her eyes were full, but she didn't let anything fall. That's when something shifted in me. Not rage, clarity. I stood up, took my wife's hand. "We're leaving," I said. No shouting, no dramatic exit, just chairs scraping quietly against tile. No one followed us out. The drive home was silent. My wife stared out the window, one hand resting lightly over her stomach. I kept replaying the laughter. I'd spent years telling myself favoritism wasn't real, that I was imagining it, that love just looked different for different children. But love doesn't sigh when you announce a life. The next morning, my phone was vibrating nonstop. 24 missed calls, voicemails stacked on top of each other. "It's urgent, please pick up." For a second, fear replaced everything else. I imagined accidents, emergencies. I called back. My mother's voice was frantic. My father had collapsed after an argument with my sister late that night. Blood pressure spike. He was in the hospital. "We need you here," she said. "Not please, not we're sorry, just need." At the hospital, the waiting room was different from the dining table. No one was laughing, no one was leaning back comfortably. My sister looked exhausted, defensive. The doctor stepped out and asked who was listed as primary medical contact. There was a pause. My sister glanced at my mother. My mother looked at me. "He is," she said quietly. Years ago, when my father was updating paperwork, he had put my name down. "You're the sensible one," he'd told me then. "You handle things calmly." I remembered feeling invisible even in that compliment. Now it carried weight. The doctor handed me forms, explained risks, medication adjustments, lifestyle changes. I asked questions, signed where needed, scheduled follow-ups. No one interrupted, no one mocked. My wife stood beside me the entire time, her hand resting against my arm, steady. My sister tried to interject once about private room upgrades and insurance details. The nurse gently corrected her. Those decisions were mine unless I chose to delegate. The shift wasn't loud, it wasn't humiliating, it was procedural. Responsibility has a way of rearranging rooms. Later, when my father was stable and resting, my mother sat beside me in the hallway. "We didn't mean to hurt you," she said. I believed she didn't mean to. That didn't change that she had. I didn't ask for gifts, I didn't ask for apologies. I'm not competing with her,
I said quietly. "I just won't let my child grow up feeling like an afterthought." She nodded, but I could see she didn't fully understand yet. Favoritism doesn't disappear in one hospital visit. Patterns don't evaporate because fear visits a family for a night. But something had changed, not in them, in me. When we left the hospital, my wife slipped her hand into mine again. "You didn't raise your voice," she said softly. "I don't need to," I replied. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for their approval to feel legitimate. My child doesn't need balloon arches to be worthy, and if my parents ever want to celebrate this baby properly, they'll have to do it without expecting me to beg.